What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Free Spirit Tarot. I am Poetry. We are here for our journey through tarot through my intuitive lens. And this is the Strength card, card number 8, but actually card number 9 in the tarot deck. Strength along the fool's journey. Basically, what I'm doing is just showing you how I see the cards, what vision I see in the cards, or what messages I see in the card, just by looking at the images. If you want to tap into your own intuition, this is just probably give you some insight on how somebody else does it who doesn't necessarily use the guidebooks. Let me turn off my fan. I'm not sure if my mic is picking it up. Hold on for a second. All right, so hopefully you can hear me now. Hopefully you could hear me then, but just in case you couldn't, like I said, we are on to the Strength card. As you can see, I mixed up the cards again. Today I have my Strength card from the Titanic Tarot, the Strength card from the Gregory Tarot, the Strength card from the Everyday Witch Tarot, my Strength card from the Trick or Treat Tarot, and the Strength card from the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. And usually I will put the names of the decks down in the description section, so that way you won't have to keep asking me again over and over, what deck is that card from? I find I do that a lot myself. And a lot of times the people who are running the channel don't necessarily comment or respond back to the people asking questions, and you be left like, what deck was that from? So there you go. Okay, so the Strength card. It is again one of the cards that I take issue with in the tarot deck when it comes to the guidebook meanings. The Strength card basically is talking about inner strength. That when you look at most guidebooks, it's really dealing with your inner strength, how you're dealing with your own raw emotions, compassion, a little bit about control, taming the beast. But again, it's about an internal struggle. And I normally find that the representation of the lion does not represent an internal struggle for me. On top of the fact that, so when I look at the cards and when I think about the different meanings that I already am familiar with, like I say, it's either you're taming the beast, becoming friends with the beast, or becoming one with the beast, controlling it, things of that nature. And because the lion itself is a male lion, I take so much issue with this card, because when we actually think about lion prides, it's not the male lion that is in charge. The female lion is the one that's in charge of the pride. They call the male lion the king of the jungle, but it's the female lion that's running shit. The female lion is the one who's mainly hunting. They're protecting the pride. They're making sure people have food, things of that nature. They go out and hunt in packs. They're the one that collaborate and negotiate with other pride leaders or other women of the pride or other females of the pride. So the women are the ones who are really in fucking control. But the men, the male lions, although they can hunt, they are not in charge of the hunt like the female hunters are. The female hunters do. The male lion will join in, and they may help take on much larger prey like hippopotamus and things like that. But it's normally the female lion that's in charge of things, that is running stuff, that is showing the leadership. The male lion, when it comes to protecting, they will basically protect their space. They go around like a dog would do, and they will mark their territory. So they would spray their scent so everybody else can know, hey, this is my spot over here. They would try to keep other males out of that area, but specifically for cases of breeding. Okay, the male lion also protects space to safely breed in. So basically the male lion, they fucking sleep. That's their whole damn job. So I really dislike that in the average tarot deck, they always show the male lion being represented. Don't think I've ever seen a deck where the female lion is the one that is in the strength card. And I think if we're becoming the beast or becoming one with the beast, I believe that the female lion is the one who we should be aspiring to be. Okay? Because the female lion is the Shiznayet. That's how my thoughts on it and why I take some issue with the strength card with the lion representation. So I purposely went through the decks and tried to find um, some decks that did not necessarily feature the lion, but if they did, it was featured in a different way. And that's how I ended up with these 5 cards. And out of the 75 tarot decks that I have, these were pretty much the only 5 that gave me a really different point of view, or gave me something more than what the guidebooks normally state the strength card represents. Okay, so here we have it. We're going to start off with the Titanic card. Okay, so on this particular card, we're looking at the Titanic when the women and the children were removed from the ship and they were out to sea. Um, so, like you see the flares going off, they're hoping and praying to be saved. You see the 2 women in the background are very scared. Um, but then you have this one here in the front who's holding on to the child, protecting her like a female lion would do in a pride. And she's holding her baby stuffed lion there, her animal there, which is how the lion is represented in this particular card. And she's being a tower of strength. You've ever heard that statement that like mothers a lot of times won't show fear because they don't want their child to get upset. They don't want their child to get scared. So they're made to be strong, so that way they could take the fear out of the child. They could want to be strong in the face of adversity. Never let them see you sweat. Never let them see you shed a tear. That's what I see in this particular card here. It's dark. The night is dark. The night is lonely. You don't even see any other boats around. You don't even know where you're going or if somebody either is coming your way to come help you, but you gotta hold on for the sake of that child. Okay? Even like say with the other women in the boat who seems to be afraid and to be scared, this particular woman right here she's the tower of strength in this particular boat here. And I see that they're all huddled onto one end of the boat as well, giving me the impression that there's something on this end of the boat that may be threatening their safety that she's trying to protect all of them from. Because you kind of want to balance out a boat. So there's something on this end that this person seems to be shielding and protecting everyone, the child plus the people behind them, from. Because this person is leaning on their their religious beliefs, the belief in God to be saved. This person here just looks like unsure of everything. And this one here is just sitting there, stone faced, steadfast, and strong. She is a tower of strength within this whole image here. In this strength card, sometimes you see the infinity symbol represented and sometimes you don't. Majority of my other decks, half of them have the infinity symbol and half of them don't. This one here does not have a lion at all. And that's probably why I like the Gregory Scott Tarot, because it kind of gives you a visual interpretation that's something totally different than what the standard and typical guidebooks would give it. It's what I relate most to my own channel, which is why it's called the Free Spirit Tarot, because being a free spirit has been something that's non-conformant, not being non-conformed. Am I saying it right? Not having conformity. I guess that's the best way for me to say it. Okay. So in this particular card here, you see this is definitely inner strength that they're leaning on, and they're mainly leaning on their mental strength, not necessarily their physical strength. They're also leaning on their belief in their faith that their guardian angels will always be there when they need them as well. They are using their brain to protect information that may harm them from coming in, also to protect the knowledge that they have to share as well, so they don't get played, that they don't become too vulnerable or they allow themselves to be open up to hurt and pain. They're protecting themselves as much as possible by using their noggin. Sometimes, when we make decisions with our head, we make decisions with our heart. And in this particular case, we're using our head strength to guide us, and we are praying or hoping that our guardian angel is always with us, which is a symbol. The infinity symbol usually represents foreverness, long, you know, there's no end. That's why it's the forever loop, because there's no end in sight to it. And you see that the mental hand is reaching out to the guardian's hand. So while this Titanic card shows, um, as they're presenting themselves to be the pillar of strength. This one is a mental strength that you won't see from the outside. You will only see it through their actions, but in their head they are working it all out. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so this strength card is kind of more representative of what the typical Rider Waite strength card is. Let me see if I can find one that is nearby me. Um, in one of these decks that's like close by me. Let's see. While I'm looking at that one, while you're looking at all of those there. So that particular strength card there, you see the lion being fully represented, and the lion is walking alongside of her, and she's kind of like rubbing the chin of the lion as if she's tamed the beast, kind of like ScarJo and the Hulk. And I know I didn't say the character's name. I always say ScarJo and Hulk. Usually when somebody talks about that, they always say ScarJo and the Hulk anyway. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or Beauty and the Beast. That's something where this person has a beastly nature and it can come out and be exposed at any time. And they are unable to tame or calm themselves. So the woman in their life always provides that stillness, that calmness. Also, if you watch the TV show Scandal, and if you remember the character Huck, Huck would be considered to be a lion. He's fierce, he's strong, and the way that they present the lion to us, as if the male is the one who's always the most dominant. And when he got into his PTSD moment and he couldn't snap himself out of it. And sometimes you'll see Quinn coming in and talking him down and pulling him back in and bringing him back to reality. Or you may have Olivia doing that for him. That's basically what she's doing right there. She's calmed him down, to the point that even the kitty cat down there is not afraid of him. She knows that he won't cause any harm. And at the same time, you see there's a storm brewing behind her here, and she's using her powers to calm that storm. She's taming that storm also. And so again, if this is the strength card to me, when I just look at the images, I don't see internal struggle, with the exception of this strength card right here. It's clearly internal. Um, but this gives me the impression that she's not only just dealing with her own inner strength, she's dealing with controlling the chaos around her. Okay, taming those that need to be tamed to create a safe environment, and always weathering the storm to make sure that it doesn't affect those around her that she loves. That's what I see when I look at that particular card. And I haven't picked it up yet, so I want to give you a little closer image so you can see it yourself. Okay, a little closer image so you can see it yourself. I'm still going through this other deck here, so I gotta try to find the strength card in this deck. It's a Rider Waite deck, and just want to give you a comparison. I'm almost at the bottom of the doggone deck, and I don't see the cards yet. I might have overlooked it though, because I was trying to pay attention to what I was doing as well. Come on, girl, you can do it. I guess I can't. What the heck is the damn strength card? The world. I'm seeing every other card but the one I'm looking for. There it goes. All right. So this is a typical one here. This is a holographic, so I got to definitely make sure it doesn't hit the light the wrong way. Where you see the woman again, she has the infinity symbol above her head, and she's taming that lion. She's coaxing him. She's rubbing his mane. She's rubbing his chin, and he just patting like a dog, just, melting under her touch. His tail is tucked in between his legs. He's no harm to her. She's not showing any fear towards him. She even has her hands close to his mouth. Have you ever been to like the circus and you'll see sometimes the lion tamers will stick their heads into the lion's mouth? In most cases, it's usually a woman who is doing that. All the ones that I've seen. So yeah, this is the typical way the lion is represented, and I just feel like if we want to show like, that's also representing compassion too. But I think if we wanted to show just like a good transference of strength from the lion into the person, considering that as far as the guidebooks are concerned, this is a representation of inner strength, then it should have been a female lion, should have been present in this image. Moving on though, get off my soapbox. Now this trick or treat strength card is definitely Beauty and the Beast inspired. Um, this one I see as dealing with strength, but in this way being vulnerable. Like in this one, I said I didn't want them to be too vulnerable. They're trying to protect themselves in a way. That's why you see all the barbed wire inside of the head surrounding the brain. But in this one here, I think that the vulnerability is the strength. When you're able to be vulnerable with someone, okay, and reveal your true selves, which is what happens in Beauty and the Beast. His true self is revealed, and she still falls in love with him. Okay. And in this particular one, even though the roses on the ground, is there glass? Looks like roses, the rose on the ground, and it looks like they may be grass. I'm still trying to figure out if that's a wedding ring. It's too big to be a wedding ring, but it's a ring of some sort. But like he could have had a broken heart, in the face of in the fear of wanting of possibly losing someone, showing your true self, just being who you truly are. Whether if you feel that you are unattractive, whether you fear that you are not born in the right gender, not born in the right space, you feel like you may be too mild or maybe too beastly, whatever it may be that you may be afraid of yourself, of showing others with fear of maybe losing them or not, or them not like you and them not wanting to be around. But showing that vulnerability is a true sign of strength as far as I am concerned. And that's what this particular tarot card represents to me. Alrighty. Cosmic Cycles Tarot. This strength card here is literally physical strength. But in order to get to this level of physical strength, as you see, this person is coming up out of the wheelchair and they are trying to walk again. In order to show that type of physical strength, you definitely have to have the mental fortitude. Okay, being a veteran, and I go through physical therapy as well for some ailments that I have, and just trying to will yourself into trying to be resilient, to be disciplined, to even be motivated to do it. People can try to talk you into it all day long. They could try to be your inspiration all day long for you to get back up on your own 2 feet and try again. And in a lot of cases with a lot of veterans, it may not be, the legs that they were born with. They may be amputees and just having that strength to get up and try when they have been literally broken apart. You know what I'm saying? But it starts here in the mind. Look at that determined look in his eyes. I don't see any representation of a lion here, which I don't know. Maybe they could have made a lion tattoo or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm kind of glad they didn't use the lion at all. This is just showing fortitude. I don't see this has anything to do with compassion or even controlling emotions, even though sometimes emotions have to be controlled in order for you to get that mental fortitude, in order for you to make that physical move. But yeah, this person is also building up their physical strength again. Sometimes if you break something or you lose the use of a limb, and when you start to regain the ability to be mobile again, your legs have atrophied. That means your muscles have weakened because you lack of use. If you sit on your butt too long, sometimes you work jobs too long where you're sitting down all day, you start losing mobility, you start losing flexibility. So in order for you to gain that again, you have to put yourself back in motion. But again, it's going to take that fortitude. It's going to take that mental strength in order for you to do that. So these are some of the things that I see when I look at these strength cards. And I don't think I've done this since the first pull where we did the Fool and try to look at all these together. So if I was to do an actual pull or a draw and I have the same card come out, because sometimes I use multiple decks when I do one reading for someone. So I may use 3 different tarot decks, and what if I get the strength card all 3 times, right? For me, that says that this is an area of focus. That's the way that I look at it. A lot of times when I do my readings, they are really kind of focused readings, so which is why I can do them generally speaking and on YouTube, because they're not specific to someone's um, direct question. I usually leave those up to personal readings. I may do a general reading. And if I have something that shows up multiple times, to me, that symbolizes that this is an area that we need to focus on. And if I need to look at this one here, I would say it is more so about using your mental strength. Okay, presenting yourself in a way that you present as a courageous being. But in these particular cases, this is in order to get tangible benefits or tangible result in the end. And in each case, with the exception of this one, well, no, this one either. With the exception of these 2, they are all reaching to something, or something is reaching to them in order to garner that strength. Here, it's more about control on this one. More about deflection also. Deflecting from what's going on in the background so they can remain calm. And that's kind of the same thing here too. Because I used to always wonder why they had this child sitting in the front and they were in the back kind of cowering. I believe that this woman here is trying to protect this child from seeing the fear in their faces. She doesn't need to see that because we want to keep her calm. We want to keep her level headed as well. But then the rest of them, like they're kind of like, this child is leaning on her for help. You're leaning on your own guardian angels for help. He's leaning on her for help. She's leaning on him as well. Um, so yeah, in those cards, I see that there's also another entity that is feeding off of that energetic soul, which in this particular one, this is all yourself. Nobody can help you but you. If you're an addict and you're going through something, a lot of times you have somebody that try to help you, they help stick you into a rehab. But in order for you to actually do it, is you're gonna have to want to yourself. No one can make you do it. You have to want to yourself. Nobody can do it for you like she's doing here. You have to want it yourself, where they're reaching out for whatever tools, their ancestors, their spirit guides, their guardian angels, their own inner strength, their own inner God that they have within yourself to help you achieve whatever dreams or whatever goals that you want to achieve, whatever obstacles you need to overcome. All right, so that's all I got for our strength card here. But like I said, usually, typically, all the strength cards in most decks all give me this same type of image here, and so I definitely have to lean more on the other cards that fall around it to understand what type of strength are we really trying to present here. Is it really just all about being in control of somebody, presenting the best self to keep this other person calm? Because I don't see this card here as a representation of inner strength like the guidebooks suggest. I would just be saying, if you hear me say that with just this card, it's just, I'm just pulling from the book. I'm not using my own intuition to help me determine what message is really trying to be set forth here. Is that a snake at their foot? Is he trying to distract her from the pain? Is that a snake? Hold on, I'm looking at it closely. I can't tell. There may be a snake in the picture. I don't know where my glasses at, child. They're not over here on my desk where I'm sitting at. Anyway, that's what I got here for the strength card. Let me know what you all think about the strength card itself and what you know about it. Okay. And then this how you may feel about what I stated here as far as these ones that we are looking at in front of us. Because everybody has a different relationship with these type of cards than I may have. I'm not trying to force you to believe the way that I do. I just want you to see the perspective that I have when I look at certain cards. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comments down in the comment section, all that stuff that other YouTubers tell you to do. And welcome to the Free Spirit channel. Appreciate you. Peace.